All right, and hello, and welcome to the third issue of the Around the Birchfire podcast for October 7th of 2017. We normally have Zay on here, but he had a few things to do, so I still have Circuit Bomb at least.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Poor old Zeon. Just,
Yeah, he's
must have his balls on a vice somewhere else.
well, he's giving birth. Thought no.
Sorry, I had to take my shirt off. That made me hot.
Oh, well, you should probably
So
back away
what's
from
going
the phone.
on? What's going on there? What's in the news these days? What's changed
Uh,
since last?
I mean, Zion's not here. I've been just playing a few. Not. I forgot to change the talking about thing. You can tell me about what you're doing.
Just a lot of work is going on and a lot of moving around the state here, getting jobs done, working my buns off, but still trying to find some time to get around to play some video games and check out what's new. I had a buddy who plays Eve, and he was telling me about some things that happened last night. I guess they got blue balled by their enemies, and uh, and their allies messed up some sinos, and it was just kind of a big mess, and there was stand down and citadels going up and down, just kind of a little war going on, I guess.
Damn, how much is lost?
Oh, I don't know. He didn't say it. It wasn't really anything, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, me. I tried to get some Szechuan sauce because it was today that they had it, but as everyone probably has noticed, at least if you've been trying to find some Szechuan sauce, that they didn't give that much out.
Right.
Like
It was
three,
slightly disappointing, but
yeah.
at the same time, maybe it's just a giant tease, like, you know, maybe they're
Well,
teasing us.
they had all the other sauces that they sort of announced because they were like doing like a multi sauce kind of thing. Where it was like, hey, here's a bunch of different sauces you can try today. But Szechuan sauce, they like had like 12 packets throughout the entire like world for people to try.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like how could they not know that there was going to be a lot of like desire to buy this sauce? There was. I mean, how many people watch Rick and Morty? It's like the number one
Oh,
comedy cartoon at the moment.
right, man. I mean, even I watch Rick and Morty. I actually just finished up last night, catching up on all my episodes, and it was pretty freaking awesome, man. I love Rick and Morty.
You watched all of them?
Yeah.
Ooh, what do you think about the? Well, I mean, if anyone's listening to this is gonna probably spoil the last
Spoiler
episode.
alert! Spoiler alert! Blah,
Yeah,
blah.
I don't have a thing for that. Oh, well, I mean, we can talk about the spoilers of it. We already mentioned.
Yes. So, if you don't want the show ruined and you haven't seen the rest of the Rick and Morty episodes, mute the channel, go somewhere else, get the fuck out of here, you know. Or if you just don't give a shit,
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, I'm just gonna have it say talking about spoilers. Okay, that's that. I'm back in a bit. I will hopefully remember to change that. Yeah, what do you think about the the last season?
season 3?
Yeah, I guess season two too.
I mean, season 2 too.
Uh,
Man, I freaking like it, and I like kind of the arc that's going. I like seeing Morty a little bit more, you know, assertive in his
Yeah.
role. He seems like he's getting a little bit more assertive and not being such a little bitch.
Yeah, I mean, in the Jerry episode, he's literally just like killing aliens. Just
Right.
like I don't know, Summer. All right, just like he's like the second expert of the family now.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, just from his experiences rolling around with Rick all the time, it's
Yeah,
pretty funny.
and he even like gives some sass over to his mother too when it's the one with Jerry and Rick go to that like immortality resort. He's
Yeah.
just like just goes off on her.
Like the little brother kills his
Yeah,
sister.
that's fucked up.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, oh, that's such a good
That's
episode
just
too.
bad parenting.
Yeah, I mean, even the first episode of that season was pretty great too. Just like, hey, everything's now just taken apart. The Vindicators episode was pretty funny too with the saw scene. Just Rick just sets up an entire like saw game show for like them to run in, and then like has Logic show up. That was great.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's I mean when I first saw it on season one, it was like I was kind of like, this might be funny, but it was just sort of like a few parts annoying, a few parts funny, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the first episode and I was like, it's all right. And then I watched the next one, and it just kept getting better and better and better.
Yeah, like
And like the finale of season one, like 100 years, Rick and Morty.
yeah.
I was just like, I lost it. I was like, this is great. This is.
Hmm.
I just knew that freaking season two coming in was going to be a lot more. I mean, it was just going to be hilarious and
Oh yeah.
crazy shit. And and going into season three, I just I love every minute of the show.
Oh
There's
yeah.
so much different shit, and they've created like a real playground.
Oh yeah.
you know, they come up with anything, and it'll
Yeah,
fit.
that's a great thing about like homebrew sci-fi. Like they made their entire like their own
Right,
science fiction world, and it's all just completely bonkers.
right, and you can definitely tell some of its pop culture references and
Oh yeah.
how it's kind of like Rick and Morty. It's kind of like Doc Brown and Marty McFly
Yeah,
from
well
Back to the
that's what they
Future,
were
and
gonna
then it
do.
mixed with yeah, and
It
then
was
it's
like
like
Doc and Marty was gonna be the name of the show.
yeah. Well, I'm certainly glad that they changed it to Rick, and the whole idea that there's like like Ricks for everything, like the all
Yeah.
immortal Rick is just it's a funny thing, but at the same time, if there's an all immortal Rick, then Rick knows the truth. There's an all immortal Beth and an all immortal Jerry and Morty.
Oh yeah. I mean,
They exist because he is.
I don't know if there's an entire comics based off of it. It follows a completely different Rick and Morty, and one of the comics it was Rick and his Morty were like, we're gonna go find a like Rick's like there's a Morty that's actually like me and a Rick that's a lot like you, and we're gonna go see. And they go to like as they're like saying that, like it's showing what's happening there, and like when they finally arrive, like Rick is murdering Morty with a hammer, and he's like dressed up as Morty, and the Morty's dressed up as Rick, and like they just like show their face like, oh shit, and like later they're just sitting on the couch staring at the ceiling with their mouth open, like what the fuck did we just see?
I
Yes.
like the Morty's mind blowers. That was kind of cool. Just
Yeah,
going
don't
through
mess with the
flashbacks of
squirrels.
things like parts of the squirrel. Things that would be episodes but aren't. It's like all the filler and stuff like
Hmm.
that, and like what they've been doing and the shit that freaking Morty's been through.
Yeah, I like I like the
He's like
idea with
pulling on
the
that. He's like jacking off that thing. He didn't know. He thought he was torturing him.
yeah, or Rick just removes all the memories whenever Morty's just like, wait, you thought that's what that was? God, why are you so stupid? And I think you know the dream the mind turtle in that episode. There was a
Yeah, yeah.
reference to the like if you play that in forward like reverse, it says something like "I'm Paul McCarthy" or something like that. It's like a ripoff of like because people are like really thinking that like that why can't I not remember his from the Beatles and died? Why the hell?
John Lennon.
Yeah, like because a lot of people think like John Lennon isn't dead, and it's like a conspiracy, like reverse like some of their songs and found hidden messages. It's just like that. Wait, no, it's like I think that the message is actually I'm a Beatle, something like that. But I really liked. Like, I expected the season finale of season 3 to be a lot more exciting, like season 2's, but yeah, it was still satisfying.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta see
Yeah,
Rick as the like full force, like the god he is, and just like how much
yeah.
power he
Well,
has in comparison to the government.
yeah, I know, and not only that, but it was still kind of impressive to see the president squaring off to
The
Rick. Like, oh
two
yeah, the
kids,
president he's got all this shit. Like,
yeah, like a mecha Hitler suit,
right,
and they just ended it with like Rick just being like, I'm bored of this, I'm gonna leave," and the person's just like, "What the hell?" And he just like pretends he's fly fishing Rick after that, and like flies back in.
right.
And then Beth's just like comments like it'll be a lot like season 1, except I'm not completely angry at you leaving me or something like that.
Right,
And she just like breaks the fourth wall like Rick
right.
does.
Yeah. Well, Rick created all those worlds to protect the universe from Beth, so
Yeah, that was a great.
she goes in there and like slaughters her freaking fantasy land.
Yeah, with a sentient knife.
Right.
I like how Rick made all those things for her.
Right.
Like, not even like, whoa, that's still a little psychotic, but it's just like, sure, yeah, here, go ahead.
That guy, he's like it's freaking gross. He's like fucking the things and then eating the
Yeah.
babies. Like what the fuck? Like that's fucking and then it like
Yeah.
happens like really fast. Like what the fuck?
It's just like the acting of like I'm Beth and I'm jealous of Tommy's Nintendo and Dad.
Tommy's not doing
So what made you stop watching in the beginning? Just time?
Yeah, pretty much time. You know, I was getting really busy and stuff, and there's other shows and stuff I need to catch up with, like Game of Thrones and whatnot. And, I'll get around to it as soon as I can.
Like I binge watched it like to the Love Potion number Rick or whatever the hell that episode was.
Yeah,
I binge watched to that, and that was the last episode that came out. I'm like, oh, I should probably watch the rest of these, and then I just never did.
right.
Yeah, so you love it.
Yes, love it.
I
Love it.
love it too. Wow.
So you know what's great about October, right?
Let me kick off the spoilers thing. That way it's good, and we're gonna just talk about October.
Yeah, you know what the great thing about October is, right?
Oktoberfest.
There's some great things going on in October. Yeah, great stuff. I mean, including Oktoberfest. But I mean, let's see. freaking Halloween, man. Halloween is in October. It's a fun holiday. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite. It's probably my favorite holiday is Halloween, and um, anyways, Stranger Things on Netflix. The new season of Stranger Things on Netflix is going to be coming out here at the end of October. Just in time for Halloween and shit. And what's really cool is it also seems like there's a new little mobile video game that's come out that's going to be coming out for the show. So,
Ooh.
and that looks like it's a lot of fun. It's a little pixel platformer game, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Is it tied into the story of the actual show? Is there any spoilers during it or anything?
I'm not quite sure. It almost looks like it might just be a game of the recap from season one. Um, I don't really have
That much information about it.
yeah, that much information about it.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
another one of those shows that I haven't watched yet because I never got around to it. Yeah, it's
it is a great show. If you have an opportunity to watch it, dude, do it. I mean, I loved it from the first couple. I started watching it and
oh yeah.
I got second, third episode, and I just couldn't look away, and I ended up binge watching it the whole season like that night. So,
I
uh,
like my girlfriend I think also did the same exact thing. Binge watched it.
mhm,
Like, you should watch it. I'm like, I'll get around to it at some point.
yeah, yeah. My girlfriend at the time watched it with me, and it was a lot of fun. It was cool.
Yeah, I might have to watch it with her because I understand like the kind of like the theme of it, like some
Mhm.
supernatural type of shit and like a group of friends and whatnot. And I also saw like somebody was making a rule set based around that kind of mythos.
That's neat. That's really cool. I kind of
Like
dig
a
that.
like a D&D kind of thing on
Yeah,
tabletop.
yeah.
Like it's like you're in like Oregon and there's aliens and like supernatural things and it's just like, oh, that is a nice kind of setting to like host a campaign and yeah. I know you try to play a little bit of Starbound on a stream and didn't really get to do it, but did you play anything else
Yeah.
this week at all or
No, I didn't really get too much time in. Work has been really busy, and uh, you know, I've been looking at heat signature like we talked about last week. Um, you know, yeah, I tried to play a little bit of Starbound on stream, but the thing is I need to get a better laptop, and I'll be able to stream, stream more.
might be able to get a capture card maybe.
Yeah,
No, I want a better computer.
I mean, yeah, I think that realistically, a better computer would be in the works. Um, the thing is kind of limiting me. I'm also going to be, I'm going to be traveling home at the end of the month here in
Ooh.
October. I got a flight for the last weekend in October to go home and visit everybody, which is going to be really great. I've been gone for a couple months now,
Yeah,
and
like 2 or 3 months. I mean,
yeah, since 2 months since August.
yeah, I think that's sort of when we started doing the podcast.
Yeah, and
Been about a month now.
uh, so yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. But while I'm there, I'm gonna be setting up my rig at home as a remote desktop. So
Ooh.
that's kind of interesting. I might see how that goes and see what I might be able to pull off with that setup.
Hope you have fast internet there.
Yeah, that's the cool thing because while I'm there, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna go to Home Depot. I'm gonna buy some Ethernet and some Ethernet cable, and I'm gonna
Drop it out the back of the plane when
freaking
you go to your next spot.
no, I'm gonna run a hard wire to the internet from my computer in the house. So
Ooh.
yeah, hard
Yeah,
wires.
hopefully the remote desktop works out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, because there's a lot of stuff that's up there that I that I'd like to have access to, and then I can make use of that computer for things like storing pictures and movies and whatnot, and
Yeah.
even I don't even know, maybe even access my games, play my games on there. I don't know, like a
Yeah,
Steam Link,
we can do
which I've been thinking about getting a Steam Link,
oh,
trying one out.
yeah, what did the Steam Link do again? It lets you remote desktop.
It doesn't let you. It lets you stream your Steam library to like a
Hmm.
TV.
So does it, like, hardware wise? What does that use then?
I mean, it's its own piece of hardware, so
Oh, I mean, it has its own graphics card and whatnot.
I imagine what it probably does is it downloads your whatever game you're gonna play just in time and catches it on the device so that it can be played, you know, fully without any kind of like, download hiccups or whatever.
Hmm.
Perhaps it does something like that. I'm not exactly sure on
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't look into that when it came out. But
Yeah.
I've had a couple issues with just how my computer's been running. The whole my Windows is just corrupted, as I was telling you earlier. Don't know exactly what's wrong, but I know that I either have to wipe my drive or I am thinking about getting a new hard drive just because I wanted to stream Oblivion last night. I got a bunch of graphical improvement mods and I was gonna run through with that because it's been a while since I played Oblivion and I wanted to play a bit more of a story game for a stream and YouTube video. So, you know what? Morrowind seems like fun. Or Oblivion, I mean. Morrowind 2 seems like fun, but
Yeah.
I think I decided against that just because there was only 3 people watching it. Which, as fun as it is to play Morrowind and how great it would be to play it, I might make that like a more YouTube thing. But I got, I've got a few other games that I have in mind to play. Yeah, I got Ruiner that I just bought that I'll try doing a stream with that later on in life. And
Mm.
then I also bought Divinity Original Sin 2. Had some plans to do a Let's Play with that or something, but um, person I was going to do it with, I haven't really been able to play it with them. Just because I haven't really talked to them in a while. I was thinking of buying Xeon that so we could, after we finish Dark Soul, which we're about let's see. We were 50% in, and then we started doing the Lord Souls, and we got one of them, and we're sitting outside of the second one. And yeah, it's going pretty well.
Hmm.
Yeah, you were telling me you didn't really play much Dark Souls.
Yeah, I got it for the PlayStation 3, the first one. I got it for
Oh,
the PlayStation 3. And I didn't really. I guess it's not that I couldn't get into it. I just really didn't at the time. I didn't have the time to dedicate to it and stuff. So it just kind of went on the back burner, and then somebody stole it from me.
oh,
So yeah, how very rude and
yeah,
indecent of them.
yeah. I had a few games stolen from me. I really don't like. I hated that.
Yeah, man, it sucked.
I've been I've been putting off Dark Souls for a while, and I've also been acquiring every last one of the games and just sort of like it's on sale, I'm gonna buy it, and that's what I did for all the Dark Soul games. So when Zan was like, playing it on stream, I sort of got a little itching to play it. So he plays it with me now. And, yeah, we've apparently I'm not doing the right build with the right gear, and I'm a sinner for using full Havels, but I kind of like to play games as full armor as I can. When I
Right.
first played MMOs, I played as a tank, which is funny because you normally start as a DPS.
Right.
Yeah, I really back in the old EverQuest 2 days, I played as a Shadow Knight, which is kind of like a Death Knight, I guess. But yeah, I played like as a full like tanking spec, and I'd just be up front and be like, "Hey guys, look, I'm making sure nobody hits you, and I'm turning the boss around."
Right.
And it's like, yay! Yeah, then you look at DPS, and it's just like, I don't know, it's not as exciting when you play as a DPS.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't know. Oh, now I know. Back
So,
in Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO, I made a Jedi Sage, which was a full healer, and that was like my first healer in an MMO, and that was pretty great. I really liked being a. What
yeah.
what did you do when you first played it? Oh,
Well, let's see. The first MMO that I played was a game called Mankind. It was a space and colonization game. And I mean, this is back when you still had freaking dial-up, internet on AOL and Earthlink and other service providers. You still had to dial up, but it was a fun game. It was kind of hard. The graphics were poor and stuff, and it was a strategy game, so you didn't really, it was like a StarCraft. You just built up as much units as you could, and you were powerful in that regard. But one moment.
all right. Mankind. Let's see.
So, anyways, when I first started playing World of Warcraft. It was probably the most notable true MMO that comes to mind. But I started playing that, and I played a warlock first, and I never really, there's only I played healer. I had a healer once and a shaman once as well, and both of those were pretty fun to play. Never, only one time ever played on an alliance side, and that was with my shaman. And
A shaman, huh?
yeah,
So you're one of the casuals that joined in Burning Crusade.
no, I was playing before. I started playing like right before Burning Crusade came out, and it was also, and then after that, it wasn't that long after that I started playing Eve Online, and I've been playing Eve Online on and off since then. So still to this day.
Oh, I had no clue.
Yeah.
No, I knew. Yeah, it was that time I tried to get into Eve, but then bought the game and they were like, "Yeah, we can't combine these accounts."
Yeah, I know that sucked.
Come
But
on.
anyways, because we don't have Zayon today, I think we decided that we were going to cut tonight's podcast short.
We
You
were.
know, yeah, yeah.
Sure, we could go on for a little bit longer. It seems like we had a pretty good topic.
Well, there are things that need to be done and
Uh,
schedules that need to be kept, and you know,
all
so.
right. Did you want to point out any possible releases that are coming up, or just nah?
There's Neon Chrome's going to be coming out soon. It's a top-down shooter, cyberpunk shooter. Um, there's Ruiner's already out, and
Yeah.
it looks like it's another top-down cyberpunk shooter. I think we're kind of on a theme here
Yeah,
with
kind of
those
bullet
cyberpunk
helly.
games. Yeah, I actually got an email, which actually is kind of funny. Before we do sign off here, I do have a talking point. I got an email from Tim Soray from the last night. Uh, and he's like, because I've sent him an email when he first kind of teased that they were going to be doing a game called, a cyberpunk game like their cyberpunk jam, the game jam that they won with their cyberpunk game.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, he's all excited. He sounded really excited and hopes that the new art direction and stuff like that, meets expectations and everything. So, it's pretty freaking cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, because I haven't I haven't heard from him since then. And then when I seen the E3 reveal trailer, I had to send him a message telling him that it looks awesome. It was actually kind of cool that he responded and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it does look cool.
Yeah,
Well, I guess that's my release, a major release that's coming out. That is October 10th is going to be Shadow of War. Is the Middle Earth Shadow of War. It's a continuation of the other.
yeah, I still haven't gotten through that one. I was actually trying to play a little bit of it before I got this new job and stuff. But
Yeah.
one day I'll get around to it.
Yeah, I might stream it at some point, but yeah, you said you have to go, so
Yep.
we'll do a sign off now.
All right. And
Yeah.
goodbye, everybody.
Anything you want to say or anything?
We love you all. Subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast. We'll be here next week at around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Yeah, hopefully Zan will be around next time. He
Yeah,
had
if not,
something.
maybe we'll have a special guest next time. If not, we'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll see. I need to change the overlay for that. Yeah, we're gonna end it here. Yeah.
Bye.